Alright, I had to try this Pokemon out. We're going to have to take a look here today at Gallade, Shadow Gallade with the fast move of Charm. Charm is absolutely fantastic in the current meta because the meta that we currently have is around fighting as well as dark type Pokemon, and those are quite weak to Charm, I would say. So today we're going to have the best Charmer in my opinion because it's going to be a Shadow Charmer. There is no Stab Charm currently available because we have Pre-Arena, which got banned from this cup. And so today we're going to take a look at Shadow Gallade. And honestly, it was so much fun to play this Pokemon. It was so much fun to play this team, and I had a lot of success with this team as well. We're going to have Kingdra as the Sasop, which is the safest Pokemon in this meta by far, because again, there is no rare fairy type Pokemon other than, I guess, a Azumarill, which is still going to be able to hit quite a bit with the Swift. And so Kingdra here, for example, already is going to do quite a good job. It's going to be able to pressure the Mercury even further, getting them super low, knocking out 2 Pokemon, and yeah, the opponent had enough already. So next opponent, Manabus Lead. This is not as great as it looks. We have, of course, Charm as a fast move, but they also have a fast move that's super effective against us. And so we stop out of here, and we're gonna get out the opponent's Lantern. And I'm not even that sad about that, because we're either gonna get the shield advantage or the switch advantage, and we will take that switch advantage here, because now the Manabus is going to be aligned guaranteed against the Lantern, which is going to be fantastic. That's exactly where we want to have it. And we still have energy in our lead, we still have energy here, we still have the Manabus against us here as well. That's kind of fine. We can take a hit, even though if it's buff foul play. We can still go for another Outrage, but they stop onto their own Kingdra just for me to go for the wrong move now. And this is so silly, because if I went for the Outrage, which I had stored, I would have knocked them out already. But it doesn't matter. At this point, I know already, of course, that I'm going to be able to win this battle. We have the Gallade against the opponent's Kingdra, and we can take the... we can shield the move up as well. That works out as well quite well here. The Swift is coming through. We can go for the full farm down. They are going to be down to their final Pokemon, and a Manabus is not going to be able to survive against a Lantern, but also a Manabus is not going to be able to survive against a close combat. They kind of had to risk something there at least, because, yeah, as we know, there was not really a lot else the opponent could have done there in order to have a chance of winning this battle. And so we can now move on to the next one there. We're going to have the Leaf Blade against the Azumarill. And what we will see here is that actually this is going to be quite a fantastic matchup for us, as we are going to be able to always win against the Azumarill. I didn't know that before, but with a Charm buff 2 seasons ago, now you're going to be able to outspeed the Azumarill with a Leaf Blade, as you need, basically, I think 5 fast moves all the time in order to get to your own move. And as you see, we're going to be able to outspeed them, but they stop out into the Manabus, which honestly is not too bad for me, because what we're going to have here is we're going to have, the stop out into the Lantern, and Lantern is going to be in a very solid position. So I'm not really too worried about it. We can take the foul play. I am going to be able to overfarm by quite a bit here. The Thunderbolt is hopefully going to be enough to knock them out at this point. And we should end up here with quite a bit of energy stored for the next matchup. So let's see here what is coming in. It's going to be a Gastrodon. That's going to be quite tough for us, but we still should be okay here. The Surf is going to connect, and we can stop onto our Kingdra, which is now going to go up against the Azumarill, but luckily we can still reach the Swift in time, which means we are going to be in a position where we can just knock them out here with our Dragon type, and the opponent had enough. They forfeit, and we can move on to the next opponent, where Tentacruel is going to be our opponent. And Tentacruel is such an interesting Pokemon. Same goes for Sableye. Sableye is such a weird matchup, because basically, if we go for Outrage, this Pokemon goes down. If we go for Swift, we barely do any damage, but it's way cheaper. And so what is the opponent going to do? They actually let the move go, which is kind of annoying, because now I'm forced to use 2 shields. I'm not going to go for another Swift. I can go for the full farm down now, but it is just going to be a bit more awkward. And as we will see here as well, the Tentacruel is coming in. We are going to be able to go ahead and go for the Swift, get the shield here at least. I can go for the Outrage next. I would love to see either the shield. I actually both are fine. Shield and damage is both okay for me. I get the damage, which is perfect, because now it's in spark down range for the Lantern. They can go for a move. It's a very like just a payback, which kind of currently rises in popularity. And they stop out into their Como as their final Pokemon. I wish I stopped out a tiny bit earlier, because as you see here, they are 1 fast move away from going down. They can go for the Clanging Scales, but the issue is that now I need to farm them down, because I'm not going to be able to go through them with them still having a shield. But it's still going to get to another Clanging Scales, knocking me out. If I stopped out immediately into my Charmer, I would have been better off here. I should have done that. But we can move on to the next opponent, to the most common Pokemon, which is Annihilate, which we completely clown on. Speaking of clown on, did you see the move that the Ultra Beast is gonna get? I forgot the name of the Ultra Beast. The Blacephalon, of course. Mind blown. It's the clown Pokemon. Did you see the move? yeah, it looks crazy. Like, of course, it's kind of what's currently in the game code. And it's something that I do think is going to be actually quite interesting to play, and I can't wait for us to try it out whenever this is going to get released. Very likely I would assume actually for New Year. It might be the most amount of sense that Mindblown gets released for New Year, because like kind of a big explosion, which you can have for like New Year as well, with fireworks, would make the most amount of sense. I don't know if this is actually the case, I have no idea. But basically, Mindblown is going to be the strongest move ever created in Pokemon Go. It's a 90 damage move for 35 energy, which is ridiculous. It's like Leaf Blade is currently this, in my opinion, is the strongest kinda, which is 35 energy for 70 damage. So you get 20 more damage, but you also have a guaranteed 100% chance to drop your defense by 4 stages. So as soon as you hit one Mindblown, the Pokemon just goes, like, the defense is just so low already, and then it goes even way further down. It's just basically going to have 0 bulk then, and it's going to be interesting though. Mindblown, kind of cool move there. I don't know why Clowning came up now, but yeah. But Safflon is going to be an interesting Pokemon for the future. Hopefully you have one for the Great League as well. I'm fairly certain I have one for the Great League. They're only available for a short amount of time, but I do think that this Pokemon is going to be a bit better in the future. But yeah, again, going to be interesting to see on what they're going to do with it. I feel like it would be kind of fitting, at least for the other event, for the New Year event there. Because it's already as Incinerate, has Shadow Ball, which got buffed as well this season, has Mystical Fire currently, but like with Mindblown, you had way more potential then. Anyway, we're going to have Empoleon against us, and this is actually one of the main reasons why we are running Lantern here. Kind of more towards the team. Lantern is here to counter especially Empoleon. Empoleon is an issue for my lead because we have Charm as a fast move, which is going to be resisted. They're going to outspeed me, and they're going to do quite a bit of damage there. So I needed a Pokemon in back that can deal with especially flying type Pokemon, but also against, of course, here the Empoleon. And this is where the Lantern comes in clutch. Here, we actually have the opponent here having the Pelipper, a Pokemon that I would like to see getting a buff, but I don't know if we're going to see one anytime soon. It has a Weather Ball as well. But honestly, I should maybe take a look at Pelipper again with a Weather Ball buff. I think could be an interesting Pokemon. But we can move on now to the next opponent anyway. Let's see here. There's going to be a Gyarados against us. And I have a good answer in the back, and honestly, what I try to achieve is something I'm not going to be able to achieve. Spoiler alert. I would try to catch the Awkward Tail onto my Kingdra, which you see as well. I try to catch there, but they actually played it quite well there, to the point that they just got a little bit of an energy advantage against me. And so, yeah, we're gonna be able to farm down, but at what cost? We are now 2 shields down, and the opponent has a Gaston in the back, which can knock me out with another Mud Step, so I'm not gonna get the next Leaf Blade off, which is just so unfortunate, because now Kingdra comes in. We are going to be able to try our best to get another charge move off here. Body Slam's coming through. We gotta try our best to get to an Outrage. And we have to just hope that they let the move go. Otherwise, they're going to lose immediately. If they no shield, we have, if they shield, they have no chance here. They have their own Kingdra in the back. I have no chance of winning this battle. This is fine. I just kind of got into a position where I couldn't just win. If I would have been able to catch the move from the Gyarados onto my Kingdra, I would have been fine there. I do think I would have been most ideally able to win the battle, because against the opponent's Kingdra, I would have had a great answer. And against Gaston, I would have had still the Leaf Blade then as well. But it is what it is. They're going to win. They win this fair and square. And we can move on to the next opponent, where we will see the Quagsire. This Pokemon is going to not appreciate a Leaf Blade, and we are not appreciating any of their moves. And so we're kind of in an interesting position, and we're gonna play it in a certain way, which you're gonna see now. I'm gonna go for the Leaf Blade in order to get the shield back from the opponent. But now at this point, I can stop out into my Kingdra. We did 2 things basically in this first matchup. We put them into range where I can Dragon Breath them down over a long period of time, or Swift them down now. And we also put them into a position where a Surf is going to be enough from a Lantern, which of course would have not been enough if we didn't get the damage in previously. And this is where Charm kind of comes from clutch. You kind of can put Pokemon into a position where you can knock them out with other Pokemon later on. And I love this. I kind of love this about this team. I think it's kind of a cool thing to run. I think Charm on the Gallade is actually very powerful in the current meta. We're going to have Foul Play here knocking us out. That's okay. We can stop out into the Lantern. I catch the move. That's kind of silly most likely. But yeah, I try to get more energy advantage now with a Lantern. I was hoping that I can just win with a Lantern, trying to Thunderbolt everything. But I'm not sure if this is going to work out here. Foul Play is coming through. They're going to reveal that they have Murkrow on the back, which I actually going to be able to Thunderbolt down. Can Lantern come back from this one? This is going to be an interesting one. Thunderbolt is going to knock them out. And let's see what's coming in next. It is going to be, let's see, the Quagsire. And we are not going to be able to outspeed them. And with that, we're going to lose this battle. Oh wait, it's Awkward Tail. We still survive. We can knock them out now with a Surf. Can we still actually win this one? That would be crazy. But let's find out here afterwards. We cannot. It's a draw. But honestly, a Lantern is its best there. Alright. Good lead. Funny thing here is, they are, if they do it like this, they're gonna go for Psychic Fangs, and I don't need to shield this. So, like, I'm actually in an okay position. But as we will see, we are going to be able to now go ahead and go into the Kingdra. This is fine. Yeah, as we're gonna see here as well, the 4 players coming in. We're going to have the Swift now going through, and hopefully we want to get the shield from the opponent. But we're actually not at an outrage yet, so maybe they know. They actually do know, and we are now in a position where we don't really have anything to be doing. We try still our best to go for another move here, and we'll say not getting the shield either from the opponent. Now we're in a really bad position. This is something that I put myself into, if fair. This is not really as ideal. But we see here now the move coming through. We're going to have, the Leaf Blade coming in. And we're going to get the shield. And in comes now the Lantern. Morpeko comes in next. And we're going to try our best to go for a Surf here. But as you see, we are going to be forced to let the move go. It's going to be the Auriel. That is fine. But let's see what's coming in. We're going to have the Surf going to knock them here, hopefully. Or they're going to use a shield. They decided to use a shield. I cannot swap out into my Gallade yet. And so I'm kind of forced to use a shield here. Trying to get my energy with my Lantern. But let's find out if this is going to work out here. I'm going to try my best to go into my Gallade soonish. Try to get up to the Thunderbolt, and I catch the move. I could have actually sparked them down, and that's kind of annoying, because I would have been able to still keep my Gallade then. I don't know if that would have mattered. They have here the Mana Bus. I don't think it actually does matter, though. Like, this move is going to be not enough to even get close. So, yeah, I would have not won this battle no matter what else happened here. Go to get to the opponent. Mana Bus just too bulky, and that is fine. We can move on to the next opponent. Here I accidentally clicked on not record all of a sudden here, so there's going to be a small cut here right now. I accidentally clicked on some random button. I just stopped onto my Lantern, but that is going to be okay. We're going to be in a very solid position, still the same battle. And we're going to just be able to go for a no shield again. We're going to know, of course, there's a shiny Como in the lead. That is fine by me. I have 2 good answers in the back still. And so what I want to do here is I kind of just don't want to waste all my energy on my Lantern yet. So I'm just going to go for the Surf and stuff with the Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt does more damage, but Surf is going to be just doing a little bit of chip damage. I can still keep my Lantern, stop out of here, and get out the Tentacruel. And maybe Lantern can come clutch here. But generally speaking, we are in the right spot here. We have the Kingdom, which is just neutral against everything in the meta anyway. But I'm kind of worried about the Como. Like, it might be the case that we have to catch the move. I think that is still a 1 fast move away from getting to Clanging Scales. So basically what I'm going to try to do is I try to get the final shield here from the opponent's Tentacruel, and then see on if I'm going to be able to win against the Como. We got the final shield here over the Swift, which is fine. We're going to be able to use a shield as well. This is going to be the payback. And we have the swap out perfectly against the Como into our Lantern, which is going to be enough to now allow us to farm them all the way down. We get to the Outrage, and this should be enough. The Outrage against Tentacruel easily is going to be enough to knock them out. And we can move on to the next opponent, and let's see on how this battle is going to go. We have Gallade against the Annihilate, and we're going to be able to annihilate the Annihilate. There's the Drapion stops in against us, and I go into my Kingdra, because Kingdra is faster to get to the moves. They are going to be able to always outspeed us still for the first move, because they have, of course, that energy advantage previously. But if I didn't stay in with my lead, I would have not put them into Swift range, which they're in now, and that is kind of where I wanted to be. Where I didn't want to be with this positioning, because now I'm in a position where it's just going to be a bit tough. But so I kind of wanted to trust here onto my lead, and so I decided to go and keep my shields for the Gallade. And Gallade is going to be fine with the shield, as the opponent is going to reveal their final shield, which is interesting because Gallade has so much charge move pressure. We know that we're going to be able to knock out that Annihilate here. We're even going to be able to knock it out in time before they get to anything. And we should be in a position where we can win this battle. It's going to be the Azumarill in the back. I just have to hit 2 Leaf Blades and I win it straight away. I have 2 Leaf Blades stored here. Unless they're going to catch the move here, which we see the bubble coming through, they don't. We are going to be fine here. We are going to be able to win this battle. And we are going to be able to move on to the next opponent, as the Drapion is going to be totally okay. We have still a shield left, and with that they have a 0 chance of winning, and we can move on to the final one for today. So how do you feel about the Shadow Charm Gallade in this meta? I think it's such a cool Pokemon. It's definitely a cheat code, and this was actually my favorite battle. Honestly, Gallade is just destroying everything. Charm Gallade is something that people don't really expect, and I'm all for it. I think it's amazing. As you will see here, the defense is gonna drop. That's okay. We're going to have here let's see, you're going to have here the Tyranta coming in. I'm going to be able to just let the move go. That's okay as well for me. It's going to be the Brutal Swing. That is fine. And we can go for the Swift. Swift is coming through. This is going to be enough to get maybe a shield. Yeah, we can get the shield. We got them kind of low. That's fine. But we're going to be now in a bit of an awkward spot. Which Pokemon do I go into? I decided to go into my Lantern, actually. Because Lantern can take a hit, and I kind of want to take a hit, but they sub onto the Annihilate anyway, which is a Pokemon I can hardwall with my Gallade. And so now it's a bit of an interesting position, because what we can do here is we can just go ahead and shield them move up. I want to get the damage off. I want to get the damage off against the opponent. And as you see, we can farm them down, and Gallade just destroyed the opponent here. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I will see you then. Bye bye.